very warm welcome to day 2 of the Real Estate and Infrastructure Investor Summit. My name is Junaid, and I would be your host for this momentous conclave. And honestly, once again, we have an illustrious gathering here today. A plethora of some amazing panelists. An entire ecosystem of the leading dignitaries and key people from the government. From real estate developers to chairmen and managing directors, having come together to recognize and celebrate genius, vision, and inspiration. Naredco takes leadership in getting the stakeholders of the real estate and infrastructure sector together to have a meaningful and focused dialogue on finding solutions and also showcasing the growth of the Indian real estate and infrastructure sector to its investors. So with the objective to promote the role of private equity in the Indian real estate and infrastructure sector together, Naredco is organizing this conclave in the financial capital of India, Mumbai city. So ladies and gentlemen, firstly, I'd like to invite our esteemed panelists to start off proceedings for this wonderful day 2 of the Real Estate and Infrastructure Investor Summit 2018. Yes, Mr. Pankaj Wadhawan, CEO, Blueshift Institute of Real Estate and Finance. All right, it's an absolute honor amongst us. We have the Joint Secretary and Mission Director, NULM MOHUA. Zordar taaliya ho jaye. Ladies and gentlemen, for Shri Sanjay Kumar ji. Moving forward, I'd now like to invite on the dais Mr. Pankaj Wadhawan, the CEO, Blueshift Institute of Real Estate and Finance. Can we have a huge round of applause, please?
Good morning. Thank you, Sanjay ji. Thanks, Ritesh. Thanks, Vivek. So, is it just a visual or we seriously believe that we want to make a difference? Education, skilling is seen as a non-sexy part of it, and especially when it comes to labor or workforce, because most of us are white-collared workers here. Some are entrepreneurs, business owners. Some are MBAs. I myself is MBA, CFAs. I have colleagues who are from ISB, IAS, Joint Secretary. So, we need to have a perception that how skilling we need to look at from the entire value chain. So, we are looking at it slightly differently while we cover most of the things which Sanjay ji has mentioned. So, I'll like to start my presentation with a story. There are two farmers, okay? They are in competition. It was told, you have to clear the wild grass, cactus trees and weeds. The person who will clear the maximum amount of ground will be the winner. They are given 24 hours to do it. One gentleman, being a very serious person, without taking a break, continuously 24 hours he worked. But surprisingly, the person who took breaks after few hours, every few hours, was the winner. So everybody asked him, you took so many breaks. After every 3-4 hours you were taking a break. The other guy was working throughout 24 hours. He toiled. How you could win it? So the answer given by the second farmer was that you saw me taking rest, but you didn't see me that I was sharpening my axe and sickles while I was taking rest. So the moral of the story is that skilling is important. We all are professionals. While we are taking break, this may be a break, but we are sharpening our skills, our mind frame. Okay? For labor, the skilling is about the tools. For graduates and postgraduates, it's more about mental. So, Blueshift Institute, we started 7 years back. I have spent 25 years in the industry and I had been a white-collared worker. So, we thought, how do we make a difference? So, I'll try to cover this in this presentation. So, 4 areas we'll be covering today. We have signed an MOU with Naredco. I'm very thankful to Naredco, Rajanji's vision, and the team leadership, Mr. Singh and everybody. We are also training partners along with India Vision in Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs initiative for urban poor, where Sanjay ji is representing, he is the mission director. So I'll cover briefly about it. Second, I would like to cover what is the current status of skilled manpower and what is the opportunity, how do we see? Most of the data is known to you, so I'll run very fast on those slides. Third point I would like to cover is the targeted trades, key features of the skilling programs, and what do we need support from you, because ultimately the purpose is here just not to seed you with an idea, is also to leave some action points, okay, where we can connect. And in the last, though it may sound like a marketing, but I think you should know who we are and who are our partner institutions. So it's not from the marketing perspective, the fourth point, it's more about the track record and credibility part of it, okay. So kindly bear with me for the fourth part. So these are the backgrounds and areas of working together. Apologies, it's a content heavy, but I wanted to be accurate on the wordings. So with Naredco West, we are going to work on three broad areas, the points which are mentioned in the ticks in the bullet. Upskilling and employment oriented skilling for fresh graduates, for undergraduates and labor workforce. Second area is customized upskilling interventions for corporates. This, in today's audience, I think we may have all the three type of audience. Some may be business owners who are looking for skilling of their labor, or their graduates or postgraduates. There may be a lot of professionals. So we cover the entire value chain. The second point covers about the customized upskilling interventions for corporates. And when we talk about real estate, we talk about the ecosystem. Real estate, building construction and housing finance, we see all these three related segments and we cover these three. The third bullet, upskilling of professionals and next generation of owners. There must be a lot of next generation of owners. Yesterday we saw in the oath ceremony, the people in the blue vests, they were the young Turks who will be joining this business. So we do weekend courses for owners, next generation of owners, working professionals, architects, engineers. So we look skilling and education as an entire value chain, and I personally want to make it a sexy. It should be a sexy business, and where like we have started this as a first panel कि मंदिर में घंटा बजा के अंदर जा रहे हैं. So we are doing some good work, okay. So it should be in the agenda. Investments, business, growth, all these things will happen if we have a good hygiene factor. Skilling is very important. It has to be sexy. It should be the part of the conference in the morning sessions. So the other point, Naredco has entered into MOU with Maua, and it's a very good initiative for urban poor. Sanjay sir has already explained, so I will skip on that. Let's understand the opportunities in the sector and the skill. This point is also covered in detail, KPMG. Only one point I want to make is, you will see some figures in bracket in 2025, 2030. So last year there was an expectation that it will become a 1 trillion, second bullet, 1 trillion size of industry, and it will rank third largest in the world. That point of time it was estimated we'll achieve this in 2025, but in yesterday's report we understand there is a five-year delay, lag will happen, it will become 2030 now. Contribution to Indian GDP is likely to be 15% by 2030. And we used to take a lot of pride in saying that we are the second largest employer of the country, but in yesterday's report I understand now we have slipped to the third position. But I assume we will very shortly pick up the second spot again. So that's as far as taking pride about the sector is concerned. These are the incremental jobs provided by the construction sector. You can see 14.3 million jobs created between 2011 to 2015. Source is also there. It's interesting read. You can read this report. This is a startling fact that why we need to make training of labor and workers as a sexy business, that people should perceive it, yeah, we have to do it, okay? It should be in your agenda, top of the mind. We are at a 4.69% level, and see where the other countries are there. So mostly all are unskilled. Skilling is only 4.69% in the labor force. It's a labor data. The last bullet, even the graduate segment, if you see 70% people who are graduating are unemployable because they don't have skills. So they are working 2 levels below. Teller का भी job कर रहा है graduate. ठीक है? If you see the chart, this is for the construction sector. Unskilled workers are 83%, the dark blue. Startling facts. This is a hierarchy generally, I think we can skip, you can go through this in NSDC report. This was the estimation that building construction and real estate will create 31 million additional jobs between 2013 to 2022. Okay? These numbers again, if you'll see, year by year are getting downgraded. We were expecting 75 million to 80 million people to be employed by 2025. Now that numbers have gone down further. Okay? So it means the job creation in the construction sector is slightly lagging vis-a-vis other sectors. These are some profile. If you see minimally educated is 38 million. This figure is in thousands. This was the NSDC report done in terms of incremental requirements till 2022. So these are trade-wise. This is the situation. So far I talked about labor. Now let's get into the graduate segment. These around 2.3 crore students in India enroll every year in different streams: art, science, engineering, commerce, medical, management, law. And if you think 70% are unemployable, see the huge numbers. So much of skilling is needed. It's a disguised employment. In economics, there is a term called disguised unemployment. Okay. So how do we address it, and what support we need from you? Customized interventions for your in-house programs. This is for higher education, where you have acquisition, strategy, markets, RERA, design, DCR, FSI, construction management, construction technologies, housing finance, appraisal, financial modeling, valuations, redevelopment, SRA projects, how to do structure, implement them, sales, marketing, broking. So there are a lot of things. We deliver them. We have been delivering from last 7 years for various corporates, and we can upskill them. So if you have any requirements, you can get in touch with Naredco. We are education partner with them. Then the last segment is, if corporate doesn't sponsor and professional feels, okay, real estate is a complicated subject. I am still a student after spending 25 years. I am still learning. New DCR comes, new guidelines come, so many things changes. So they do self-sponsored. These are self-sponsored programs. They can fund themselves. They can enroll in our programs on weekends. We offer 1-year program, shorter duration courses. These are accredited by Construction Industry Development Council. So this is the way we look at the skilling. So this is a little bit about us, and I hope you will provide your full support to us to make skilling and education a very important component, and where we will need support of all the thought leaders who are sitting in this, and let's make it a priority for the industry. And thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Mr. Wadhwan. Wow, absolutely engaging this morning is turning out to be. So yes, thank you so much to all our panelists. But before you leave, you have a small token of appreciation from our side for thanking you for being a part of the Real Estate and Infrastructure Investor Summit. May I call on Mr. Ashok Munani to kindly come and felicitate Mr. Pankaj Wadhwan, please. Huge round of applause.
Because 2011 he came, and I wanted to take momentum from his hand. And anyways, Mr. Prem was not there.
Fantastic, well said. Yes, of course, we all feel good receiving mementos from Mr. Munani. Thank you so much, gentlemen. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you amongst us.